Woody Wommack and Adam Gorney here for our weekly college football picks. We decided to start a week early. Week 0. Gorney, are you ready to make some picks for some very average football teams?
Yeah, I have to tell my wife where all the money goes, but I'm going to be making some picks for week 1 here.
All right, we're going to start with Northwestern and Nebraska, a Big Ten clash. They're playing in Ireland, which is insane in its own right. I'm sure 2, 3, and 9 teams. Nebraska, 13.5-point favorite. Who you picking, Gorney?
Well, my pick is Nebraska, and now let me explain why. As you're going to see during the year, I love a certain system, and that system is if the public is on one team but the money is on the other, you always follow the money. So Nebraska, there's a flip there. Nebraska is on the money, so I'm taking the money. Now, this was a blowout last year, so there's payback on Northwestern's side. But honestly, Northwestern got blown out by a lot of teams, so they can only have so much payback, I guess, this year. And I'm not really sure Northwestern is all that good of a football team, where I think Nebraska could be at least average. So 2 touchdowns is a lot, but I'm taking my Irish luck here, and I'm taking the Huskers. Plus, I don't want to be ripped on their message board, so I'm going to take Nebraska regardless.
I'm going to take Nebraska to win the game. 13.5. I mean, that's too much for me, Gordon. Yeah, I think Northwestern's defense comes to play, even though they're going to be getting a new look offense for Nebraska. But 13.5. Listen, when you go to Ireland, you can throw out the records. Okay, I'm sorry. Pat his Irish family there. It's too much. Too much for me for 13.5. So I'll take Nebraska to win, but I'm taking Northwestern to cover. Next game, Wyoming at Illinois, another Big Ten clash. Maybe a future Big Ten member, Wyoming. Are they for the expansion? Illinois, an 11-point favorite. Who you got, Gorney?
No, this is going to be a barn burner. This is going to be one of those that you throw out everything and you really tune into this. It's going to be a thriller. Wyoming cannot score, and that's the problem. Brett Bielema's excited about this team, but giving anybody 11 points is a lot. I'll take Wyoming plus 11. Illinois will win the game, but they will win it like 16-7. I'm taking Wyoming plus 11.
Yeah, I don't think, Wyoming's offense wasn't great last year. I think they're replacing both the quarterbacks they played. But like you said, 11's too much for me. I'm going to take Wyoming to cover. Illinois should easily win. So maybe a few money line parlays cooking up here with some of these picks. Next up, Vanderbilt going all the way to Hawaii to play the Warriors, Rainbow Warriors. I don't know if they're still called that. Personally, for me, I'd be nervous if I'm Vanderbilt, but what do you think, Gorney?
Yeah, this is one of those games where you're like, both teams are pretty bad. Even, the argument is that Vanderbilt's at least in the SEC. And so they have something going for them at least. I think this is going to be one of those ugly games. Hawaii is going to play hard, but doesn't have a lot of good players. Vanderbilt laying that big of a number, though, is hard to imagine that they're going to cover, but I am going to take the Commodores here. First game of the season, the travel doesn't really matter because they can get out there whenever they want to. They're not coming off another game. It's a long, long way from Nashville to Honolulu, but I'm going to take Vanderbilt. Probably wins 31-17.
Actually, not that bad of a flight. They probably come to Atlanta, take the direct. That's the flight I take to the Polynesian Bowl. So probably not bad. 9-10 hours to get out there with the connection. I love Mike Wright on a team that nobody ever watches on Vanderbilt. But I'm sorry, I don't know. I can't trust the back judge in Hawaii.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know what's going on. They're going to be in that tiny little stadium, a high school game in terms of what Vanderbilt's used to playing in the SEC. So I'm going to take Hawaii. I also probably to cover. I still think Vanderbilt can win, but I just wonder if can Vanderbilt score enough points because he's just going to keep throwing and throwing and throwing.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I have my eye on. And looking at Vanderbilt's depth chart, which came out yesterday, and I see every single commit that comes through. We get an email every time a guy commits. I really 90% of their roster, which I thought was crazy. I only really recognized a handful of names, so we'll see. But I think it's going to be a close one. I don't know if we're going to be able to watch it. I know there's some potential broadcast issues, so hopefully we get to see it because I will watch any. Why? Charlotte at FAU. Charlotte, a 7-point road underdog. What do you think, Gorney?
Now, what's crazy is one that I know this stat, but 6 of the last 7 between these two powers has gone under, but both have terrible defenses. So, with terrible defenses, you always take the points. Based on those two richly researched topics, I'm taking Charlotte +7. I don't think either team is really all that great. Both defenses are bad. This could go either way, 45-41.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, I like the coach Will Healy at Charlotte. I don't like. I mean, we got Nkosi Perry back for FAU. I'm not going to bet on Nkosi Perry, so I'll ride with you on Charlotte on that one. UConn, crazy Nkosi Perry stat. He was at the same rivals camp as Mac Jones, who's going on his second year in the NFL.
Right.
So UConn at Utah State last game. UConn at 27.5-point underdog on the road.
Yeah, that's a lot of points for Utah State to cover, but I think Jim Mora might take the flight back west instead of going back to Stores after this one. 42-10, Utah State. They'll cover. Home game, Logan. I think there's altitude there, so I think Utah State's going to blow them out, and UConn still has a long, long way to go here.
Yeah, they've restocked the roster with some interesting transfers. That quarterback used to be at Penn State. I think he was a 4-star, so they might make it a little more interesting. But yeah, long rebuild there. So I'm going to also take Utah State. That wraps it up for our picks. Gorney, we will be back every week. We'll put these on your podcast feed. We'll put them on the Rivals YouTube channel. So be sure to check. We have real games to pick. But that's it for this week. Be sure to stay locked into Rivals.com for more coverage. Thanks, Gorney.
See ya.